A lot of leadership teams keep saying we need to build AI capability, but strong teams say something slightly different. More like, where do we use AI to improve a capability we rely on every week? And yeah, that can sound a little bit like word games, but it's not. Because the minute you label AI a capability, you start funding it like one, staffing it like one, and measuring it like one. And then 6 months later, you're staring at seat counts and usage charts while cycle time and write-offs sit there unchanged. You've seen, I'm sure, the giant infrastructure numbers that are getting thrown around all over the place. That's what happens when the tool becomes the mission. And I'll tie it back once we've got the definition straight here. If you run a professional services firm, 11 to 500 people say, then you know how this movie goes because you've seen it so many times. Partners buy licenses expecting margin lift. Nothing moves, delivery gets blamed, and nobody wants to admit that the workflow still has no owner and therefore no shared done definition. So keep one picture in your head as we go through this. It's 2 boxes. One box, capability equals how we deliver value, and another box, tool equals how we apply it. When I say capability, I'm not talking about a department name or some fancy maturity model. A capability is a repeatable way your firm creates value that holds up even when people quit and clients change and tools get swapped because the people, process, data, and tools are aligned and have one owner who can actually say, yes, this is working, or no, this is definitely not working. So proposal management is a capability. Client management is a capability. Contract management, delivery quality, billing, knowledge management. These are all capabilities too. You can run these well or badly, but they exist even if you move from Google Docs to Word, or even if you rip out your PSA tool, or even if your best senior manager wins the lottery and moves away to Hawaii. I'm already jealous just thinking of that. A tool is a simplifier. It's something you apply inside a capability to change speed and cost and quality, risk, consistency, or scale. So spreadsheets are tools. A CRM is a tool. A template library is a tool. AI models, co-pilots, retrieval search, classifiers. Again, these are all tools. But tools don't create value on their own. They can't. But they can change what happens inside the capability, and they only help when the capability has enough shape that people can use the tool the same way twice. Now, this is where I'm going to get a little bit annoying, okay? AI strategy usually isn't a strategy. Most of the time, it's a tool plan dressed up in strategy language, and it turns into a shopping list and then a rollout calendar. And everybody stays busy, but nobody can answer one simple question. What capability outcome are we driving, and what constraint are we removing? If you can't name that constraint, you'll keep shipping AI and wondering why the firm feels exactly the same. Here's a gut check you can use with your partners. If AI vanished tomorrow, what still must run cleanly for you to sell work, deliver work, and invoice work without chaos? If the answer is anything like, our people will figure it out, that's not a capability, that's heroics and very expensive senior attention. But if the answer is, intake needs context, pricing needs a rate card owner, approvals need a path, and this SOW needs a client-ready package, now we're talking, because those steps have inputs, outputs, gates, and a definition of done. Being in professional services makes this even trickier because your value lives in handoffs and judgment calls, and the most expensive minutes hide in review, rework, and waiting for somebody senior to approve something. So when you drop AI into a messy workflow, you're not just speeding up the work, you're also speeding up ambiguity. And ambiguity, just like a lie, scales way faster than quality. Once you label AI a capability, money starts walking to the wrong places on autopilot. You fund programs and co-pilots, an AI team, and a growing pile of experiments while the capabilities that actually print margins stay half in people's heads and half in random documents. Nobody can point to an owner for the messy middle either, where the work actually happens. If I could put one picture on the screen right now, it's a dumb chart that hurts. Spending climbing month after month, and throughput is basically flat. Proposal management still drags. Reviews still bottleneck at the same 2 seniors. Billing management still slips. And you end up debating adoption rates because that's the only thing that the tool can report without you doing real measurement work. Mechanically, this falls in a predictable way as well. The tool lands on top of a workflow that isn't defined, so it can't snap to anything. People don't agree on inputs, they don't agree on done, and they don't know who can approve exceptions. So as they're using this AI, they're generating more stuff earlier in the process, which kind of feels like progress right up until the first gate where someone has to sign their name. Let's take a law firm that buys an AI assistant because they want contract management to move faster. Day one looks great because an associate can spin up 5 versions of a clause in an afternoon, but the templates aren't standardized, fallback clauses aren't approved, and nobody owns what client ready means for that client type. So the associate keeps iterating, and the senior keeps rejecting, and review time stretches because the reviewer has to read more words, not fewer. Nothing broke in this model. I want to be clear, nothing broke. But the firm didn't have a shared playbook for that process. So not only is it not clear who owns the clause library, contract review rules are living in individuals' heads, risk boundaries stay implied, and there's no time box for iteration. So now this tool has turned into something that's generating uncertainty into way bigger volume. The associate does feel productive, at least at first, but the partner is feeling buried and the client's still waiting. Consulting firms can run a similar failure. A partner says, we need AI proposals. So someone spins up a proposal generator, it produces slick text in seconds, and everybody gets excited until you notice the pricing logic, scope boundaries, exclusions, and proof points. They mostly live in partner calls and half-remembered decks. So the tool starts producing plausible nonsense. Wrong rates, invented case studies, confident scope with missing constraints. And now the firm is burning time in proposal fact-checking and partner rework. Now, this is where that word that we're hearing about, work slop, shows up. Generation volume is going up. Review load is going up. And internal trust is dropping because people start assuming anything touched by AI needs scrutiny, and they're not wrong. If I'm drawing it on a whiteboard, AI widens the input funnel, but the narrow point still stays partner review or QA sign-off. So the line backs up faster. And the complaint becomes, this tool isn't saving time, when it's actually exposing that this review process didn't have the business rules that it needed. It just had people. Risk makes this sharper in professional services because it isn't just theoretical. Client data boundaries, privilege, IP reuse, and what's allowed in a prompt decides whether people can use the tool at all. If you don't settle that stuff early, you get shadow usage that nobody can audit and nobody can defend when a client asks. If you treat the tool as the capability, vendors can sell bigger buys before you've defined these outcomes that you need to get return on your investment. And you'll measure success in the seats and the usage because that's what the contract counts, even if cycle time and rework never move. So I suggest you try this. Start with where the money leaks in a normal week, not where vendors want you to start. Pick one parent capability like proposal management or knowledge management. Then do this in an hour. Map it without mentioning AI even once. Write the steps, the handoffs, who owns each gate, the inputs, the outputs, and the exact words for done at each handoff. Because looks good to me is not a definition. As you map, name any child capabilities in plain terms, business terms that make sense to you, and keep the name of that parent in that name as well so you can trace it back later. Then write the gap in business terms and pick one constraint. Saying we need AI proposals is a vibe, but saying proposal management rework drops from 30% to 10% because proposal intake captures exclusions and the rate card has an owner is a problem statement. Now fit AI like a job inside that workflow. Where can it draft, retrieve, classify, triage, or flag anomalies? And where does it fail if requirements stay fuzzy? A consulting team can use AI to draft first pass scope language inside proposal creation, but only after the scope boundary and the rate rules exist somewhere outside people's heads. Last, govern it so people can use it without drama. Set client data boundaries, review rules, versioning, and the sign-off points you won't automate, and keep it stable, even if you swap models. Before your next vendor demo, run this 3-part test. Outcome, 1 line with a number. Failure points, 5 ways. I held up 10, but 5 ways the workflow breaks today. Ownership plus done. 1 owner and a done definition. A tired reviewer can still apply at 11 p.m. But if you're not sure where you stand, you can also take the operational health quiz, and that link is in the description below. Or if you're already budgeting or mid-initiative, you can also book a 15-minute audit consult and bring your workflow into a list. The link to that is also in the description. Keep AI as a tool and keep the capability as the value engine. Pick one capability, map it, name the constraint, then decide if AI fits and how you'll measure it. If you can't name the capability, you'll keep paying for activity. Then you'll blame people when the numbers don't move and the next budget cycle gets even more expensive.